Ladies and gentlemen, our master lecture is about to begin. Please be seated. Please set your mobile devices to silent mode. Thank you. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's hybrid master lecture on Saving the Planet Begins at Breakfast, Storytelling versus Reality, jointly organized by the Consulate General of Italy in Hong Kong and the Hong Kong Design Institute. I'm Connie, studying higher diploma in film, television, and photography. It's my honor to be your MC today. It is our great pleasure to welcome the following guests to join us on this lecture. They are Professor Giovanni Ottonello, Arts Director of the European Institute of Design.
Thank you. Hello. Good afternoon. Thanks.
Mr. Carmelo Ficara, Consul General of Italy in Hong Kong. Dr. Lilian Ong, Principal of Hong Kong Design Institute. Ling Wong, Vice Principal of Hong Kong Design Institute. To kickstart the lecture, we would like to invite Dr. Lilian Ong, Principal of Hong Kong Design Institute, to give welcome remarks. Dr. Ong, please.
So, good morning, Professor Ottonello.
Good morning. Good morning.
And Mr. Ficara, distinguished guests, colleagues, and students. On behalf of HKDI, Hong Kong Design Institute, a very warm welcome to the webinar today. Now, today's webinar marks the highlight of the growing and the deepening partnership between Italy and HKDI. We are delighted to join hands in organizing this master lecture in a blended mode, both virtually and physically. We have also the pleasure to welcome Professor from European Institute of Design to share his insight on what designer can do to save the planet. I think the second part is more interesting, starting from breakfast. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. And we are aware of, and I think a lot of us here are increasingly concerned about the environment and the climate that has impacted us on our daily life. And to make a sustainable world for the current global citizen and future generation, I think education plays a very important role to infuse the values and the sustainable concept to our students. So after this topic, after this webinar, we look forward to our students' creativity and ideas on this topic and these issues. The strong support from global partnership has further opened up many opportunities for our students and helped with our efforts in design education. We are very grateful to have partnered with Italy through CG of Italy in Hong Kong. And one of the examples is a very recent one. I'm sure you all know the Memphis Commission, a project commissioned by the Italian Cultural Institute in Hong Kong. And our student work as part of the Organised Design Studios has been selected as outstanding projects to be exhibited in our graduation show in August. And subsequently, it was selected to be exhibited in the Convention Exhibition Hall for the 25th years of design in September. And then the story has not ended there. And then it was again selected by K11. It's now currently exhibited in K11 Museum in the Piazza until November. So students, if you have chance to be there, our students work the project. Bring your parents, bring your friends, boyfriends, girlfriends to visit and see what your colleagues, what your fellow colleagues have done, the good work. In fact, recently, as I told CG, that me and a number of our colleagues has visited Italy, particularly in Milan, to talk about, discuss a number of collaboration with our partners. Polimi. Polimi is called, Politecnico di Milano. Yeah. And also, we also visited ADI Design Museum to discuss about collaboration and also potential opportunity for our students, particularly in learning, international aspect, and also project bringing in for our students. So as to expose them as some sort of learning outside the standard curriculum. So we look forward to this closer collaboration. I think coming back from Italy, Milan and Venice, there are a lot of other things we can follow up. And we hope to meet CG and his colleagues in the coming 2 weeks to talk about what are the learning opportunities that we can bring back after our visit and through CG of Italy in Hong Kong, so that we can bring more learning opportunity for our students. So I look forward to today's webinar and also a closer collaboration with you all. Thank you very much.
We are delighted to have Mr. Carmelo Ficara, Consul General of Italy in Hong Kong, with us today. And this lecture is organized riding on his connection with the Italian design community. We have the pleasure and privilege to have Mr. Ficara to deliver an opening remarks. Mr. Ficara, please.
Thank you for having us today. Good afternoon and good morning in Italy. I'm very honored, as usual, to pronounce some introductory remarks in events that we are organizing in Hong Kong. I'm just arrived since I started the 1st of September, so it's almost 2 months here, but I must admit that we had already several occasions to celebrate the strong relations between Italy and Hong Kong throughout various events that we already had, but throughout the program of events that is going to happen and is planned in the next days and weeks, at least until the end of December. We have a festival called Italiania, which is a comprehensive, which offers a comprehensive program of events on Italian culture, Italian lifestyle, Italian economy, Italian business, Italian music. So you are all invited to have a look at it, and you're invited to participate to the events. But today, of course, we are concentrating on something that Your Excellency, Dr. Ramil already explained very well, which is a total cooperation among our institutions, between our institutions, the Consulate and the Hong Kong Design Institute. This is the first time for me. I know that the cooperation has been developed during the past years, and I believe and I hope that it can continue growing and strengthening in the future. I will do my best in order to do that, and ensure that also my colleagues of the Consulate will do the same, and I'm sure that we can rely on your on your cooperation in the future. I would like to thank you, to thank the students to be here, but I also would like to thank the colleagues from Italy, the European Institute of Design. I would like to say hello to Professor Ottonello. I call him Professor Ottonello, but in fact I should call him Giovanni because we know each other since many years. And I must admit that it's a bit emotional again to say hello to Giovanni. I would like, I wanted him to be here with us today live, and we hope that the institute and his representatives and Professor Ottonello could be in Hong Kong soon. But start with something with an activity on VTC, on blended, as you said, and I'm sure that it will be a successful 40 minute presentation, which will be followed by question and answers by the students, and then by a short presentation by the institute itself, done by Professor Giovanni. Nothing more to add. I don't want to steal time to the presentation. Again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the students. I see that you still other students are coming and arriving. Thank you again for your hospitality. The consulate is at your disposal for any initiative that you would like to develop in the future, also according to the results of your trip or recent visit in Italy. Again, enjoy the presentation, and I hope it will be fruitful, and I hope to see you again soon in the next future. Thank you so much.
With this time, please remain on stage for photo taking. May I also invite all the guests to come to the stage, please. Let's take a photo on stage with Professor Ottonello.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. You okay? It's okay.
Excuse me, I don't see the video, sorry. Okay, now, yes. Okay, perfect.
Please look at the camera, and then we will take the photos together.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all, and please be seated. Now, may I invite all students who join us online to open the camera for group photo shooting. Please look at your camera, and we will take a group photo via virtual platform. For students here with us, please look at our cameraman. Are you ready?
Ready? 1,
1, 2, 3, smile.
One more, please.
Let's take one more. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, smile.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Today, we are very honored to have Professor Ottonello to share his precious insights on saving the planet begins at breakfast. Storytelling versus reality. Professor Ottonello is the arts director of the European Institute of Design. He has substantial experience in various design fields. To name a few, architecture, museum and scenographic exhibits, fashion, visual merchandising, food design, etc. His lectureships range from graphics to fashion, from design to photography, and contemporary arts in various design and fashion institutes. Now let's welcome Professor Ottonello. Professor Ottonello, please.
Thank you so much. With an introduction like that, it's hard to start, but really thanks, Carmelo. Thank you, Mr. Consul, and thanks a lot, Hong Kong Design Institute, for the opportunity, of course. Now I start with share the presentation. Tell me if you see that, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Okay. Just a moment, because I don't see me. Okay. I'm very happy to be with you, of course, even though from a distance I'm in Milan. I always say that Hong Kong is one of my favorite cities, and I hope I can visit again as soon as possible. No, don't be frightened. I will ask you many questions. Will not answer, but it will be a way to make you think. And provoke in you new thought, inspiration when you make a new project. No, because this one is the goal today. Not only to understand exactly the meaning of sustainability and the world around that. No, but the opportunity to start with a blank page, to start to think about the possibility to design something in a different way. No, this one is in my opinion the goal. No, absolutely. And today I wanted to talk about a subject we may have heard many times, but we may to have a clear view on its history. No, let's talk about the title. For the title of the lecture, I borrowed a very important book by Jonathan Safran Foer, is an American philosopher, in which he says something very important and interesting. No one, if we cannot destroy the planet, no one, if we cannot save the planet. We are, in the same time, the ark and the float. And this one is absolutely important. No? This clear and powerful statement tells us how we, the individual, are the starting point. Without a personal awareness, not only what it means to be sustainable, but what can be done on a daily basis, the point of no return to avoid climate catastrophe will be inevitable. No? And this one is unbelievable. And this one is absolutely important. We have to start inside of us. No? Every day, daily, how can we manage our life in this direction? No? And the first question I ask is this one. No? Can design save the world? No, it's of course it's a provocation, no, but can design save the planet? What does design mean today? No, we should not only think of it as thinking about objects, that interact with us every day. But today it's essential to redesign modern society, to get out of the old way of consumption, with a new kind of approach, circular design. And this one is another important level. What's circular design? What do you see is a simple diagram to make you understand how today it's more important the material than the form, than the shape, and especially its life. And the idea is the skin design. What's skin design? Skin design, it's a new way of design where exactly it's important how what's the fabric, the material. I decided to cover a shape. And when we talk about the planet and the design, we always talking in a different ways about the future. The future is always something that is named and put as a distant point, and so I make another provocation. When does the future start? Because this one it's super important, especially for you. You are. This is a question. You are the future of your country and the future of design. And when we design something for tomorrow, we have to think about the client, the customer, the people that in the future can use my object, my item, my product. And how many times have we heard about sustainability? But do we really know what it means? Can we really be sustainable today in the world of creativity? How many papers use every day to sketch or to design something? How many days I dedicate to study the possibility to have information about new fabric, how many times I touched really this word, this new fabric, and I tried briefly to summarize the history of sustainability, because it's not a topic of the last few decades, but one that many had already addressed in the past. And I am not referring to the birth of the first cities more than 5,000 years ago, because when the humanity decided to create a community, someone described that like the starting point in terms of problem with the relationship with the garbage and pollution. And I start with this date, 59, and this one is nice because in this period the design was born, because we have the industrial revolution, one of the most important revolution in the history of the planet. Peasants leave the countryside and the cities begin to become an unlivable place. And the arts and craft movement points out this social, economic, and natural change, and these are three very important topics, in terms of quality of life, social, and the pyramid of the social level, economic, the possibility to create a business interaction between the different worlds, and of course, I have to destroy part of the nature to create a new town. The curious and interesting thing is that already at the end of the 19th century, someone had observed how industry could be harmful to people and the environment, no? And the quality of life, pollution, smog, and so on. No, it has been a immediately observation of the quality of life. Another jump, of course, in the world and in the story, we have another important point with Rachel Carson. No, Rachel Carson already observed in the 60s that springs are silent. Birds are changing their habits, and nature is rapidly changing. You know, the observation of the nature is exactly like now, not today in our town. It's incredible. No, you have to read this book because it's very interesting. The observation in that period. Club of Rome. Club of Rome, it's a mission. Its mission is to act as a catalyst for global change by identifying the major problems that humanity will face, analyzing them in a global context, no? And searching for alternative solution in the various possible scenarios. No? A group of thinkers, no, dedicated to analyzing changes in contemporary society. No? Pay attention to the words that I use, no? Society, group of thinker, global context, no? Catalyst. No, there are very important keywords that you can use in your project, of course. Sorry. And then we arrive to the 1970. In one time when all the world's citizen comes together to celebrate the art and promote its preservation and involve up to 1 million people in as many as 192, if I remember, countries around the world each year. No? The United Nations celebrate Earth Day every year, 1 month and 2 days after the spring equinox, no? On April 22. And this one, it's interesting also. No? Another date, 1987, sorry. In this period, we have another level, another upgrade. No, in this period, it was for the first time talking about sustainable development. No, intended as a relationship between the contingent needs of those living in the present and the possible strategy to make possible the needs of future generations. No, and this one is nice. Sustainable development, SDG, is now, for example, ID is the only school in Italy that every year collaborate for the Global Goal Jam. No, a moment in September where a lot of company, brands, school in the world decided to create a project around the SDGs. No, and this one is unbelievable. No, because it's a great opportunity. It's a moment to grow up. No, it's a moment that to enter in connection, our students and the students in the world enter in connection with the real problem of the place of the planet. Sorry. And 1992. 1992 is there were meeting between countries for all over the world with a dozen of conferences, and the most famous was the one in Rio de Janeiro, where the word sustainability as we understand it now was born. Not exactly the real now definition. And I wanted to finish the trip, the short story with this one, no? Sustainable bubble. No, in Italian is blah blah blah. No, remember Greta Thunberg too. No, was that Robert Engelman, president of the World Watch Institute, created this neologism to to underline the abuse of the world and how to no one in the end acts really and concretely for the planet. No? A bad way to feel relieved of the ethical and moral burden. No? And this one is absolutely the problem now, especially in the world of fashion. No? We can see many brands that use like ornament, you know, the word sustainability or sustainable brand, but in the act they don't, they are not, you know, and or they use only like exactly a word. And an important observation is exactly this one. A study by the World Health Organization predicted that by 2050, 75% of the world's entire population will live in a city. This means that in the future, remember, when the way of traveling and the duration of traveling will change, the way of eating, the way of living, the distance between people, all cultures will mix, and the designer as the designer does foresee this and give an answer in terms of product. No, how will we dress in 20 years' time? What material will protect us? No, what does it mean to mix cultures in terms of design? No, in terms of relationship with. No, a simple example. Last week I was in India in Mumbai, and the normality is to travel 8 kilometers in 1 hour and a half. No. This implies future plannings for cars, clothing, accessories, no opportunity to drink or eat during these moments, no, of suspended life for one point to another, no, and this one is a shock, especially for an Italian person. No, we are not think about this, no, but that will be the future, no, that is incredible, no? That we run in the world. Here is an example, no? Shanghai 27 millions, Beijing 22, and in Africa we can find super huge town. But this town, we arrive to create exactly problem in terms of relationship, no? And here then in summary, it is what we can do, what we can reflect on. Design is also, and above all, a message. This one is fundamental. No, think you using your brain. Design is a message, a balance of shape, materials, and color that strike a chord with the consumers and can also educate them. Design also education. Possible awareness of an issue. Now, we spend the time, energy, money to design something for someone that spend money, but at the same to use that. But at the same time, it's a sort of education. We educate the people, and we can launch a message, you know, and we can create, no, a sort of a focus on this kind of future. No, many people, many traffic, many garbage, many pollution, many. This is another important question. Now, how many? And what can we do? No, think, choose, communicate, inform is different. No, in terms of definition, communicate is not information. Communication, information, design, and of course, consume differently. No, we must inevitably consume differently. No, and ask ourselves a simple question. No, are we sure we need it? No, that is another important question in your life, you know, in general, because we have to think, you know, if we think about fashion, which is the second most polluting industry in the world, there are many questions we should ask ourselves before making a purchase. No, do you know how many liters, gallons of water it takes to make a simple t-shirt? Do you know how many t-shirts there are in the world? You know, and this one is the answer, you know, or question. Do you know what you are wearing? Do you know who made your clothes? No, and this one it's unbelievable. No, for a t-shirt we have to consume 2,600 liters of water. And that is the problem. No, we have to open our wardrobe and think about that. No, it's really necessary to have this t-shirt, or how many t-shirts I have in my wardrobe. No, and I want to introduce today a list of contemporary keywords, absolutely important for you and for your future. In terms of project, in terms of design. Never before have we needed to introduce new word into design that can guide us on the creative path. No? The first one is the materialization. We must increasingly think about the end of life of an object, no? And its complete reuse. The problem of trash, digital and technological waste is worrying campaigns and our health. No, pay attention. Digital and technological is totally different. The clouds and the world that we have no idea about that. It's a pollution exactly like technological in terms of waste. No, but it's very interesting. I study every year for a long time. I study the new trends, no? And another important quote or phrase in terms of new trends is exactly trash and treasure. No, we have to transform the garbage. We have to transform a treasure in a treasure, something precious. No, through the design. No, through the upcycling, through the exit to exit this way to use the design. Another keyword is very important is the decluttering. What's decluttering? Getting rid of superfluous to return to the essential. Sorry, what's the essential? No, a deep analysis of what we really can have and want to have. No, what we really have. No, a sort of list. Can have opportunity and possibility, and want to have desire. And this one is absolutely interesting. No, the desire. Design is desire. No, because we want to have the luxury bag, or we wanted to have a luxury table or chair, no, very famous chair. But it's interesting to understand exactly the balance between my desire and the item. No, it's a super interesting the answer. And digital. After years of pandemic, we live in a precarious balance between the desire to have a physical experience. Experience is another important keyword for you, especially in the world of retail store, no, in terms of possibility to touch, to use, to wear, to sit down in this world, in this sense. No, so it's a balance between the desire to have a physical experience, at the same time the fear of leaving the safety of the virtual, where everything is under control. No, this one is absolutely interesting in terms of marketing strategy, no? Because it's not a coincidence that we are talking about the metaverse more and more, no? And the creative people are moving into this universe. No, the new generation, insecure about the future prospect, prefer a world in their image, no, run by them. And this one is this one is the reason why we have the metaverse. The metaverse is exactly the reaction, the result, the answer to a problem. No, I have 16, 20 years old. I have a problem to find a job. I have a problem to create a real relationship with other friends or other people for many problems in terms of pandemic and so on. And I prefer to live in the world where everything it's a sort of cocoon, no, is an armor. And that is important. Indeed, many brands, especially in fashion, but not only in fashion, created the Centraland, you know? What's the Centraland? The Centraland is a word, is a sort of second life where you have the possibility and the opportunity to, it's funny, to do experience. No, digital experience. No, you can walk in the museum, enter in a mall, spend money for a lot of money for a pair of shoes you would not wear never in your life. No, but that is important. Another keyword is this one. No, pay attention also. Pay attention on the image that I use, no, because there is always a semiotic. No, usually I spend a lot of time to research strong images, no, able to talk about to describe, no, to describe a sense, to describe a word. The last word is respect. You know? If we don't have respect for ourselves, for the people who need us, for the planet, for the choice we make, we can't say we are truly designed. No, surely we must have a new relationship with the object. No, this one is another image. It's a provocation, but it's the future, or will be the future. No, already today we can buy home on Amazon, no, or other website. Today our relationship with the time object and their function has changed. No? More and more important is the individual, no? The sensibility of each individual person, and companies speak to them directly. No, and that is another important change in terms of communication, in terms of storytelling, and in terms of real world. You know, now we spend money for someone, for something, not because I love and I appreciate this item, because it's more important the message of the story behind. No, an example, it has been the last show by Balenciaga. No, I don't know if you have seen the show, but the models walked in a hard way in the mud. No, but was that? At the end, I enter in the store and I can buy a simple black T-shirt, no. But it's very important that the message of Demna Vasalia, the idea that now in this moment is very important to walk in the heart, to feel and to breathe, no, to remain, no, blocked in the planet if we want to save the planet. No, and this one is absolutely interesting in terms of message, in terms of communication. And you have to think about that. When you see an advertising, when you see a project, when you see something, you have to stop for a few seconds and you have to think about the reason why this advertising images event exists. because this one is, no, my mother is an housewife, no, and she cannot think about that. No, but you are a designer and you have to think about the starting point, the reason why someone has decided to create this kind of images or this kind of object for us. No? More and more important is the individual, no? Remember, we have to talk about a unique target. Because if I say that I designed something for a young boy of 20 years old, I didn't say nothing, no? Because we have to create exactly a story around this age, there in Hong Kong, here in Milan, or in another part of the world. And here, 3 simple, very fast examples about everything I said before. No, transparency. No, transparency is another keyword. No, transparency of feeling, of relationship with the place where one lives, where seasons and the color change daily living. No, the idea that we can move and we can transform our life every day. And this one is an unbelievable project about that. No, the evolution of the interior design, the evolution of the relationship with the fabric. No, because during the winter, and I touch the glass has a different reaction than during the summer or the spring. Another important keywords in terms of project is a touch. No, the need to touch, to have a physical contact, but at the same time, in this magnificent project, also the possibility of protecting protecting a tree. No, the possibility and the protecting and to follow, no, during the season, so to follow the evolution of the tree. No, it's unbelievable, and the idea that in a I can walk, you know, and I can see different part of the tree, you know, and I decided to live in a level or in a different level, and finally, the last one is emotion. And emotion slash surprise. No, I can change my home according to my mood or climate. No, and I can, in a physical way, return the physical experience. In a physical way, I can move, remove, slide the part of the house, and I change, no, the perception, the weather, the climate, the temperature inside of the house. No, and this one is the future. No, and I conclude with this quote from from a famous architect. Don't let sustainability be or become just an ornament to you. No, struggle every day, thought, even a small gesture to improve and save a wonderful place. This one is absolutely important. Don't use only the word exactly like a word, but enter. We have to enter in a vertical way, and we have to destroy the word. We have to destroy the word, and we have to redesign the same word in a different way, in a personal, individual way. And I finish with this one. This one is my Instagram. I don't want to have followers, of course, but it's a good opportunity for you to use the brain. And every 2-3 days I post an image, and you have to reason why, because every image is in connection in a vertical and horizontal way, and sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's super hard, but it's interesting for you to understand or to comprehend new trends, new artist, new photographer, new designer. And this one is interesting for you and for your future. Thank you so much for the attention.
Professor Ottonello. We have been inspired by how to save the planet. Today, we are also honored to have the European Institute of Design to introduce IED to us. IED is well known for its strong network in the creative field across the globe. May we give the floor to the representative of the European Institute of Design, Mr. Andrea Galaferti. Mr. Galaferti, please.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Giovanni, for this wonderful lecture, and greetings from Milan. I bring you the salute of the greetings of International Marketing Office of IED, Istituto Europeo di Design. And thanks for having us here. Thanks to the Hong Kong Design Institute, and of course, thanks to the Consul General, Dr. Ficarra, for having us here. It's a very important moment for us to share ideas and the way we do design in IED. I'll briefly share my screen to share some information about IED. But generally speaking, what let's say I saw today is really the core of what we do in IED. Istituto Europeo di Design and Accademia Dogalli is a network of more than 50 years of experience. We are located in Italy, in Brazil, and Spain, with a network of 10,000 students each year, and they come from really every part of the world. More than 100 country nationalities came to study in IED, offering undergraduate, master, summer, semester, and continuing education. Our history goes back to 1966, and we are an Italian company since the ownership of the company is completely Italian. And basically, we teach design, fashion, visual arts, communication, and management. You can find us in many cities, the most important cities in Italy where, let's say, there is the cradle of design, such Milano, Florence, Turin, Cagliari, Roma, and Venice too, plus the Academy of Fine Arts of Aldo Galli in Como, plus Madrid, Barcelona in Spain, and with Kunstal Network in Bilbao. And of course, in Brazil, we reach also the Brazil with Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro campus. The way we teach design, today the example of Giovanni, it's quite illuminating because we bring a concept like the sustainability or the recycling material, but let's say every city in IED has a different way of doing design, has a different approach because the territory is quite different. The way we do design in Milan, fashion design in Milan is completely different from Rome, or we can teach transportation design in Torino just because there is a long history of transportation design and in Torino. And learning by doing, it's really the most important thing for us because we work in a close contact with companies, and we want students, designers, become designers by staying in the lab, touching the materials, and create in a team an output usually for the companies. And the topics I heard today are really linked with this approach because in the project, we assign the students to work on a topic such as the Global Jam, and they really have to work together to make a research phase, a material research and mock-up, then the graphics, and then of course, finally came up with a presentation. It could be to a professor like Mr. Ottonello or with a company. For example, I just named a few companies we work with in the Asia market, such Lenovo, Huawei, Meidi, Midea. These kind of companies get in touch with us and we work together on a certain topic. It could be related on sustainability. It could be on a fashion design, recycling material, a collection. It could be everything. It's the client in this case that asks students to develop a project. And pretty much this is what in very, very short sentence, what we do design. We have the teachers like Giovanni who spend many years of research and practicing in the field of design, and we have this connection with the territory, plus the companies, not only Italian companies, European, but on a global level. And this basically is what we teach. It could be the areas of art restoration, in fashion, in design, interior, product, it could be transportation design, and then visual arts and communication management, from let's say to a marketing campaign up to the creation of images, 3D related, sound design, visual arts. So it's like a full circle of areas related to design. And this is a very final panel with some of the brands that work with us. And just anyway, you can see that we work really on a global level. So this, in short, was my message towards the students and the Hong Kong Design Institute, and of course to the consular body of Italian consulates in Hong Kong. It was really a pleasure for us to stay with you, and thanks again to Giovanni for this wonderful lecture. It was very, very amazing to hear you again.
Thank you, Andrea. Thanks. Oh, of course. Thanks a lot, really. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Gallagherty. Here comes to the Q&A section. I believe many of you would like to learn more and have questions for Professor Ottonello. If you have any questions, please raise your hands or type them into the chat box. We will bring them up to Professor Ottonello.
Usually, in general, they are very shy in all over the world. No, it's not only a question of the local students, but it's. I was in India. It has been exactly the same. I was in Brazil, and it was exactly the same. So no problem. It's, in my opinion, it's very important that today it has been an occasion to put a seed inside of our brain, heart, and soul. No, and this one is very important, to return at home and to think about that, or to try to answer exactly to the questions. No, and
That's
that
the first question. The first question is, thanks for your insights. As a young designer, how to take a balance between design and sustainability?
This one is the question of the question. There are, we can think about the process behind a creative act. We have a starting point, different starting point, an emotional starting point, a travel, a book that I read, or a movie I've seen. But the idea is, and the process. I started to explode, to analyze, to research images. But at the end, the very important thing is not the product. Exactly like the definition of artist. Who is an artist? An artist is someone that, after a starting point and the journey, create a product, something new. Exactly the same. In terms of sustainability, it's very important. The question is, how can I use the contemporary world? How can I use the tools that I have, the communication, the SDGs, the possibility that I have to find a new fabric, the communication in terms of message. At the end, I designed something, and this product had to talk with a part of the planet, the target. The answer in terms of the rapidly answer is target. It's impossible to design something without a target. The biggest mistake of the young designer today, but in general, is to design something for you, or design something because you love it. This one is not the goal. You are a bridge. You are part of the process. And the goal is to create a link with the sustainability. Good. You have to talk with the part of the society. You have to talk with a part of a group of people, and you have to educate this group of people to understand the reason why you have to design a pair of shoes, a chair, table, a pair of glasses, or a book. No, because design, it's only a word. What's design? No, design is functionality, but design without another word near close that, it's only something to, it's a creative act. No, we have interior design, product design, fashion design, packaging design. No, and this one is no. Your idea, and the last one is your idea of sustainability. Because this one is, what's your relationship with sustainability in terms of communication, in terms of action, in terms of decoration, in terms of, no, we have, for example, many levels of sustainability.
Thanks, Professor Ottonello. It seems that the time is a bit against us now. So let me round up for this webinar. Thanks once again. Please accept our deepest thanks for today's wonderful sharing. We look forward for the future collaboration opportunities with you, European Institute of Design, and Italy. Now it comes to the end of the webinar. On behalf of the Hong Kong Design Institute, thanks again to Professor Ottonello, Mr. Ficarra, and thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you so much and goodbye.